You guys, Lovevery dropped on us two huge announcements for their Cyber Week. The first being a sale like they have never done before. You can get up to 25% off site-wide. Historically, Lovevery has only done Cyber Week sales on their play kits, but with this sale, you can save hundreds of dollars. You can get the play shelf, the reading skill sets, and if you are on the fence about those items, I have full reviews of both the Montessori play shelf as well as the reading skill set and how I actually implement the reading skill set with my 5-year-old for at-home reading lessons. But those are two of my absolute favorite Lovevery items, and they have historically never done sales on standalone items like that. So this is the time to get them. I will leave a link to that in the description box, watching those actual reviews as well as shopping those items. The second thing they announced is their play kitchen. This is not it, but I am going to talk about the play kitchen in detail in this video, including my initial impression, what I would consider if I was deciding whether or not to buy it, and yes, I did do it for you guys, what it would cost to try to recreate their play kitchen with Amazon alternatives. So we're going to get into all of that in this video, and I will link all of the alternatives I talk about in this video in the description box below. First, if you guys are new here, my name is Rachel from Confidently Mom. I share embodied parenting tips as well as kids product reviews, and I have reviewed all things Lovevery for years, including our actual experience with the items after having them most often for a year or more, and links to self-curate them with your own alternatives. So if you're on the fence about what to get during this massive Cyber Week sale they're having, feel free to drop me any questions in the comments below, and I am happy to provide you with the best answers I can. But let's now jump into my initial impressions. So Lovevery just released their real-life working play kitchen. It's definitely the most original and one-of-a-kind play kitchens currently on the market. I would even say it's like the first of its kind, because I don't think you can actually go out and buy a full working play kitchen like this. I know in my mud kitchen reviews, there are some Etsy sellers that you can pay for upgrades to have it like done for you, but it's still a very customizable small shop type of thing. So nothing exists like this. It comes complete with kid-safe kitchen utensils, a working water system, and you can even customize and change out the backsplash. But is it worth the price is the big question on everybody's mind, and I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty on this. First accessory that comes in here is a wooden child-safe knife and a cutting board. So the internet has plenty of Montessori cutting options available today, so this isn't like a really unique item. In fact, you can get this in pretty much any option you want. So if you wanted to just recreate Lovevery's like with a wooden knife and a cutting board, you could. You could also opt for more complete kitchen utensil bundles that have a wider variety of knives, crinkle cutters, and even sandwich little blocks were in some of them. Or you can get an all wooden set that's a little bit more baking focused with a whisk and rolling pin. And you're gonna be looking at spending anywhere from like $13 to $30 depending on how big of a bundle you're opting for. Next, we have a kids colander, and you can find these all over the internet, ranging from multi-packs to stainless steel or cute different shapes. And these typically cost anywhere from $11 to $20. Next, they have this really cool feature, which is a pull-out drawer, and it does have a stopper, so it's not going to get pulled all the way out. And it comes with a set of Lovevery utensils. Now, I will not lie to you. The Lovevery utensils are superior to any other kids utensil on the market. The weight to them, the durability, I've just always been a fan, but this is by far just one of those often overlooked Lovevery items that I'm obsessed with, but I digress. You can obviously get some other stainless steel utensils on the market, and these typically range anywhere from $13 to $18. The next little feature they have are these little hooks that would go on the side here and a towel. So it comes with 2 hooks and 1 towel. And honestly, this is pretty easy to DIY onto anything. You could purchase any adhesive hooks and get whichever dish towels you like. And I will say one of the benefits to DIYing this is you could really turn the entire side of your play kitchen into whatever it is you want. Meaning, I have seen some awesome play kitchens that have put little baskets on the side, like stacked baskets. So like one here, and in there you could either put more utensils, a spare towel, you could even put snacks there, or if you're using this for actual pretend play food storage. So you just have a lot more variety if you were to DIY that yourself. And in the description box below, I will link a bunch of different basket ideas, and those typically come with their own adhesive hook. But if you were to not do the baskets and just get hooks and dish towels, you're looking at spending anywhere from like $20 to $35, $40. But again, you're gonna get more hooks and more towels when you do that, because most towels come in a minimum pack of 4. Now, one really cool feature about Lovevery's Play Kitchen is the drying rack that fits inside of the sink. This is a very similar concept, if not identical, to the drying rack that comes in their play sink in the Helper Play Kit, which, as an aside, does fit into the Play Kitchen. So if you did want to turn this from a working kitchen to a play kitchen, that's one way to go about it. With that in mind, I measured the Lovevery Helper Play Sink's drying rack, and that came in at 9 by 5. When trying to find an alternative for this drying rack, I used those measurements. You may have slightly more wiggle room. Pretty much only found one, this white one. It also comes in black, and the pricing for it ranges anywhere from $13 to $18. And then, of course, what makes the Lovevery Play Kitchen so special is that it comes with an actual real working water system. And basically how this works is there's a water basin that can hold about 5 liters of water. It has a slow flow faucet, so it's not going to just like empty out super fast. And that goes down a big drain into a tub that's in this top cabinet that is secured in place so the kids can't just like pull it out willy-nilly. And that tub holds 6 liters. There's also a little red stopper that shows when it's full and it needs to be changed. Now, to create your own working water flow system in a play kitchen, that is going to run you anywhere from $10 to $50. And I have seen people do this all sorts of ways. If you literally search Montessori IKEA kitchen hack, there's going to be tons of tutorials. I typically find that the products people use do vary slightly because you have to like take measurements for how big the cabinet down here is to make sure your water receptacles will fit. But you basically buy a rechargeable water pump and you put that into a water container below the system here. And then you need to outflow water into an empty bucket. Very easy to set up. And then lastly, of course, when it comes to actually comparing the cost of getting Lovevery's versus an alternative, you have to factor in the actual cost of the play kitchen. And play kitchens will range anywhere from $100 to, yes, even $300. I was pretty shocked to see that when I was researching because I didn't think play kitchens ever cost that much. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Before we get into all that though, I would say, as always with Lovevery, they're a B Corp. They always have really sustainable practices, really top tier, high quality, non-toxic materials are used. And when you buy different ones off of Amazon or Wayfair, you're kind of putting a little bit more of a gamble on that, which leads me to talking about the IKEA Play Kitchen, which we have here. Because I think for review purposes with Montessori families, the #1 Montessori Play Kitchen typically is the IKEA. You can customize it. Like I have the swapped out handles here. In our old house, I had DIY'd a backsplash. I've changed out the color of the faucet. Like you can do pretty much whatever you want to the IKEA one. Lovevery one is about a similar width over here. Like the face of it is about the same, but it's not as tall as the IKEA. So just some things to consider with the IKEA versus Lovevery. I personally like having this upper storage, and I also love this opening between. That is a very personal choice. Some parents absolutely hate having an opening because it means things fall off and behind, and it's hard to get things from there, which is why I think Lovevery probably designed theirs with a formal backsplash. But I actually really like having this opening because I will turn the kitchen out so it's perpendicular to how it's facing right now. And we will set that up as our restaurant where you pass the food out to the waiter on the other side, or a walk-up countertop where you come up and order. We just really like having that opening personally for sibling play or multiple kid play. Additionally, with the IKEA one versus Lovevery, you do lose some counter space because the IKEA one does have this stove top, but I have always just added a cutting board on top of this, so it's not here nor there if you need the extra counter space. And neither one of them has oven knobs. Like I said, other wooden kitchens on the market can range all the way up to $300, making Lovevery's price tag actually not that crazy. Typically, when you're getting into those pricier play kitchens, what you're really trading instead of a working play kitchen is just a bigger size or a more aesthetic finish. If you were to add up all of the most expensive alternatives I mentioned here, you're looking at spending roughly $268. And if you were to get all of the cheapest alternatives I mentioned here, you're looking at spending roughly $192. For Lovevery Cyber Week sale that's currently happening, you can get up to 25% off. So the more you spend, the more you save, meaning you could get their play kitchen for as little as $225. And when you factor that in, it becomes an absolute get because it actually comes in cheaper than the alternatives. That leads me to, if you're watching this and not during the Black Friday Cyber Week deals, some things to consider in your decision-making process. The first thing to consider is intention. Do you want your child to follow the principles of Montessori and have full independence to getting water, making making snacks, kind of their own mini kitchen setup, as well as their self-care and personal hygiene, being able to wash their hands. If you add a mirror, it becomes a self-care station. And in one of those baskets I mentioned, you could put their combs and brushes. You can really do a lot with a Montessori kitchen. On the other hand, you may prefer for your child's play kitchen to actually be a pretend play kitchen, at which point choosing one that has a pretend stovetop or knobs for an oven may be higher priorities to you. The next thing to consider is your space. If you've watched my channel for a long time, especially years ago when I used to do a lot of Montessori activities, I'll link that playlist below, including my Christmas activity. You know, I typically was always a really big fan of a toddler tower or kitchen helper, which I have a whole buying guide on that too. In our old kitchen, my oldest child would push her toddler tower everywhere. She had full access to everything. It really worked well for her. I often felt like the Montessori IKEA hacks were kind of silly and I didn't really understand why people were spending their time doing that. Fast forward to living in our current house, which has broadened my view on it because we cannot open our dishwasher and our freezer at the same time. Squeezing a toddler tower in there with both my husband and I navigating the space where the sink is a tight squeeze. At this point in our life, in our current kitchen setup, I absolutely would have opted for a Montessori style real working kitchen like Lovevery. So in other words, if you have a large kitchen that your child can access with a toddler tower or a stool, it may not be worth it to you, but if you are in a tighter space, it actually might make sense to clear a little corner, maybe putting the Montessori Lovevery kitchen at the end of an island or a countertop section, and that actually will create the most space for your child to have some independence. And that also leads me to handiness versus convenience. If you are a handy person, if you are a DIYer, you may want to just get like an IKEA kitchen and totally revamp it into your whole style where you have all of the features you could ever want. However, if you're struggling with decision fatigue or way too much on your plate right now, I would absolutely pay the roughly $100 extra to get the Lovevery working play kitchen and save myself that time and energy. It's a done for you solution that you already know the quality and customer service is going to be amazing. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to obviously get my hands on it yet. It just dropped like today. But my experience in building our Montessori play shelf here is that it is incredibly easy. Lovevery uses these 3D plans that you get on your phone so you can zoom in and look at the specific locks if you get confused. I just find their building to be one of the easiest brands to build with. But now let me know in the comments, now that we've gotten over the initial sticker shock and seen how it compares to self-curate a setup like this, do we actually think it's worth it? I went from being like, there's no way I'd spend $300 on a kitchen to actually, that's really well priced. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And do not forget to head to that link in the description box to take advantage of their Black Friday sale. If you are on the fence about any Lovevery product, chances are I have tested it out at some point. So feel free to hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And until next time, have a good one.